if success didn't have to hurt? A lot of times we've been taught that being successful is not getting a lot of sleep, is working hard, and that one day, somehow or another, you'll get a reward. But the truth is, you're too exhausted, you're too overwhelmed, too downtrodden to even enjoy the success. I know that because that was how I thought, and that's how I designed my life. I designed my life after chasing success and going these extra measures, pushing myself beyond my physical limitations, pushing myself, trying to make sure that I could have success. So in my mind, it was you've got to hurt if you want to be successful. The pride, especially as a baby boomer, that I've built everything with my own hands and I have started from the ground up and I made a point, I made a success. I found myself, and I think a lot of us may find ourselves starting over again and again in our lives. It's not the worst thing that can happen. I think when you start over again wiser and you have experience of what happened when you have new values. So how I ended up here in Florida was I was at my daughter's. My daughter had gone through a bad divorce. She had two small children, and I went to North Carolina to help her as a mom. I really felt like there were many times in my life I wasn't there for her because I was in my own struggle. So this was an opportunity for me to be there for my daughter and my grandchildren. But the whole thing really turned out badly for me. I got sick and I had put everything I owned, I lived in California, in storage, in and out the hospital for month after month, delirious, unable to really concentrate or figure out where I was or what I was doing. And it was really a terrible time in my life. I had planned to leave California for a month or so and return. And it worked out that I didn't. And while I was in and out the hospital and just unconscious, I ended up losing everything that I owned because I was in storage and I wasn't conscious enough or lucid enough to take care of what I needed to take care of. So that meant that everything I owned was gone. I'll tell you, that experience made me let go of my attachment to material things. And that was the lesson there. Another time when I had to start over, when I was ill, I was very sick. I was sick for 2 years. It taught me to value my health. And I'm healthier now than I was then. And so we really have the opportunity to start over again and again. And it doesn't have to be, where you're destitute. It could be you decided to change a practice area. This area of law isn't for me. It isn't something I enjoy. I'm not being paid or whatever it is. And you can say, I've changed my mind. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to go back to that position. Or you can say, I'm going to leave this company or I'm going to leave this relationship. So there's always these things where we get to reinvent ourselves and start over. But if you can look at starting over as a gift as opposed to a predicament, there's so many opportunities that are there for you. I have shared earlier that when you find peace and when you find to be grateful or you're able to be where you are right now without frustration, without anger, without fear, just being where you are right here, right now, your eyes open for opportunities that are all around you. There's always situations, people, and things, but we have to be in a peaceful place before we can actually see it. In the legal profession today, everything has changed so much. Just like AI is becoming very prevalent right nowadays. And you do well to learn about it because you can find yourself in a position where you're going to be left out cold. Waking up each day and knowing that you chose to be where you are and that you are grateful for where you are. If you're at a place where you seem you can't go further, it feels like a dead end, you can start over again. And maybe at that moment you won't know what to do, but you can just go inside and you can say, okay, this isn't working for me. I know there's something better for me. I don't know what it is, but I'll just hang out here. I'll just be at peace. It will come to me. And I'll tell you that will happen. And again, that the doors will be open, the opportunities will show up, and the people will show up. All you have to do is be willing to change. Be willing to let go of what you felt is so important. The things I've had that I felt were so important to me, all my furniture and all the things, you know what? I lived without it. I was able to go on. Now here, it's been a while back later, but I own my own home. I I have much nicer things, and that was an apartment. Now I have a house. Now I have a yard. Now I have a fenced in yard. All of those things open the door for another opportunity. So don't lament when things close or doors close or something shows you that this is not going to work for you. Just let it go and know that if you let it go peacefully, someone said a long time ago that everything that they let go had their fingernails, their scratch marks, but they wouldn't let go. So I'm saying, don't be that person like, I can't let go, I can't let go. Just let go and say, I know that this is not for me anymore, or it's time for me to change, and be willing to be humble. That's the other thing, is that a lot of times we hang on to things because we're embarrassed. We don't want people to know that we were a failure, or we failed, or something didn't work out. But if you look at it as the best thing, even that you can hold your head up high and not care what other people think, is a lesson that you've learned and a freedom that you will have. So I really want each of us to be able to put a stake in the ground and say, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to make a change, and I deserve a change. And remember that you deserve to have the best, and you deserve to have peace. And I will see you next time, and be sure to subscribe.